Just when you think it's safe, Woj bombs hitting us on a Friday afternoon. The Pelicans have fired their GM, Dell Demps. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN just dropping it on us. New Orleans has parted ways with GM Dell Demps. League sources tell ESPN he followed up with the reasoning coming from the ownership group. Organization is discussing internal candidates for interim GM job, including David Booth, Danny Ferry. Sources tell ESPN. Pelicans planning to be aggressive in the marketplace to hire a high-level basketball executive. He continued to give the reasons. The ownership was livid with an injured Anthony Davis leaving the arena during Thursday night's game, which Charles and Kenny were freaking about on Inside the NBA last night. Gail Benson is telling associates she wants an overhaul of the Pelicans. It's really going back to the Anthony Davis trade and reshaping the opinion and the outside look of the organization. But the Anthony Davis saga, I guess, has claimed its first victim, and I'm going to toss to you guys for your reaction.
We knew something was coming because, Smitty, we understand that when your agent speaks up for you, your agent works for you.
Rich Paul you're talking about.
Yes, Rich Paul. So we understand that he's been there, what, 7 years? And Rich Paul's point, he doesn't feel that the organization has done enough to make Anthony Davis feel happy to want to stay. So are we happy of the situation? No. But
of course not.
We were stuck because, Smitty, they gave him $145 million.
Right.
So it's tough to say, I don't want to be there, but you still have to be professional and play. Yeah. Unfortunately for Dell Demps, he's stuck in the middle, Smitty, being a GM. But as ownership, it's hard to see your franchise player not give 100% understanding that he's only, what, 27 games left in the season?
Yes.
So I understand where Gail's coming from.
Now, the one thing before you go, Adrian Wojnarowski did say that Alvin Gentry's job is safe for now, so he's not worried. But what's your take on this, James?
You know, to 3D's point, I'm even going a year or so or 2 years before this organization has been in limbo. I mean, when you start talking about the ownership situation, and then it goes down to be DeMarcus Cousins. They make trades with DeMarcus Cousins, and obviously he gets injured. They don't keep him, and all this is their right. But I think there's been just some dysfunction in this organization. And then the bomb was dropped when Anthony Davis says, and his representative says he wanted to be traded. Obviously, I thought that was a little bit premature because of the year and a half left, and I think it put the Pelicans organization in a stressful situation. And then we had all of us talking about the he say, she say, and then it didn't go down. And obviously Dell Demps is the first casualty. But this goes bigger and longer for this organization. We know Anthony Davis probably won't be there, but where is the direction of the Pelicans after AD? And I think the one thing is they have to find out this. This is an organization that they have to gain these fans. You know, we know the Saints fans are coming win, lose, or draw. The Pelicans fans right now, they're coming when you're winning. And right now they got a little taste of it over the years with Chris Paul, Anthony Davis. They've touched the playoffs. They did all right, but they've never got over that hump. 3D. So it's going to come down to be extremely ugly for now, whether you play Anthony Davis, whether you're sitting. The league came out and said, no, you need to play him because we're going to get fined. But now it makes it even more interesting. The storyline will go on, and how much with Anthony Davis. And the one thing I want Anthony Davis to do, I love him, 3D. He's never had controversy around him. He just had he's injury prone. I want him to take control of his situation. That doesn't mean he has to speak. But also make sure that your representatives, which I think Rich Paul is doing a great job with guys, but they have to be on the same page and making sure this storyline goes the right way for Anthony Davis.
I think a lot of people had Anthony Davis as a sympathetic figure for a few weeks because he really couldn't control it, but it was the optics last night. The walking out while the game's still going on, you can't defend that to anybody because that video was everywhere this morning. It's a tough situation. I love Drew Holiday. They got some good young pieces on the team, but the Saints ownership, the Pelicans ownership, there's so many questions down there that we're all sitting here going, where are they going, which is a testament.
Well, you know, and obviously him walking out, it was tough.
It didn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
But guess what? We saw Anthony Davis walk out of games before this. It was like he went to the locker room, came back. It's just right now it's magnified, and everybody wants to know the reasonings now.
Yes.